Welcome to the Fantasy Danger Zone show. I am Armando Castaneda. I'm here with
Sam Hernandez, live from studio here in beautiful Anchorage, Alaska.
hoping that your internet holds up for the next 18 minutes.
It's not going to.
I'm here in Seattle enjoying the nice heat wave that we got going on. So let's see about the LA Chargers and what their depth chart looks like this year going into this wild AFC West that we got going on. Hands down, the hardest division in all of the NFL. So last year, the Chargers looked really good at wide receiver. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. Mike Williams had an up and down year. I feel like he's one of those guys that, blow up one week and, hopefully it's not on your fantasy team the next because he's going to kill you. So I'm not sure if it's just the way that the Chargers play all the time. I can't really pinpoint why. Can you shed some light on the Mike Williams conundrum?
So, I actually watch a lot of Chargers games. I happen to be a big Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen fan from my Dynasty fantasy leagues. So I do watch them. It still amazes me that Austin Eckler is as effective as he is. But Mike Williams, I mean, honestly, like the guy is targeted. I'd have to do some research to find out what his catch rate is, but he's seems like he's a deep threat or nothing.
Yeah.
And until Herbert is under the gun and they're trying to, do like some like 2-minute drill or fourth quarter magic when he's just peppering everybody. I mean, for the most part, it's Keenan Allen and some Austin Eckler, and that's Mike Williams is literally the deep threat. Joshua Palmer, man, I'll tell you what, that dude, that guy is a stud, and it will be interesting to see how they incorporate him. I know they in the past they've been big on their tight ends, but they just brought in Gerald Everett, so we'll see. We'll see if they're still going to be leaning on their tight end or if they're going to get Joshua Palmer involved more, because that is a big bodied, strong receiver right there. That is a big receiving core when you're looking at Mike Williams, Josh Palmer, and Keenan Allen.
Yeah, I was a big Jared Cook fan last year when he was over there with the Chargers. I've tried to support Gerald Everett, when he was with the Rams, when he was with the Seahawks. Like, it's just, I struggle to get behind him, and I don't know if it's going to do any better as a Charger. So I think Joshua Palmer can come in. They can run the 3 wides instead of the 2 with the tight end, like they used to be able to with Hunter Henry. You know, so personally, I think you're going to get a lot of the 3 wide receivers. You're going to get a lot of, Austin Eckler, and then the rookie. It's the rookie, right? The
Yeah, Isaiah
running
Spiller.
back that is showing up in camp right now, Isaiah Spiller, their 4th round draft pick, who is turning heads. I don't know if you watched him in the game today. I thought he looked pretty good, if I remember
So
correctly.
I would say on draft day, me being a Raider fan again, I do pay attention a lot to the teams in our division, and on draft day when Isaiah Spiller went to the Chargers, to say that I was disappointed is an understatement. I was devastated. I loved Isaiah Spiller. I was hoping, he's a big playmaking ability, and to see him go in the division and to the Chargers to, basically be there for, the 5 or 6 games that Austin Eckler annually misses. It's going to be, I mean, the dude's going to step in and be a stud. So it is unfortunate. And then they got the thumper Joshua Kelly just sitting right there too. So I mean, no matter what happens, they're good in the backfield.
Yeah, I agree. This is one of the backfields in fantasy that I wouldn't mind having my hands in. I just don't think Austin Eckler is going to be worth the price when it comes to uh, him being, I think, top 3 running back in the league this year. I think is what I see him going for. And last year you were able to get him cheaper. This year you're going to be paying way too much money for him. So the offensive line, though, Rashawn Slaughter still holding it down at left tackle, so that should be a good upgrade there. Uh, I guess it's not an upgrade. I thought he got hurt at the end of last year, right? So this is going to be the first year they're going to have him back.
Yeah, so I mean, Slater should be fine. He's gonna be he's gonna be Herbert's bookend left tackle for years to come. They definitely upgraded when they brought in Corey Linsley from Green Bay. I'm actually surprised that they were able to get him. They were able to steal him away. It's interesting, man. The Green Bay exodus that is occurring. Then of course they went and addressed a huge need, the right side. I think a lot of people probably, foresaw Zion Johnson coming in to play tackle, but it looks like they're content with him at guard. And they also drafted another guard, so it'll be interesting to see how their rookies end up playing out with this offensive line. But again, they drafted for depth and invested, three picks in their offensive line, and I guess we're gonna see how that plays out.
I think the Chargers are doing a lot more to protect Herbert than like the Bengals were to protect. Man, I already forgot his name. It's too late, Sam.
Oh, oh yeah. Oh, so yeah, I mean, interesting that you bring up the Bengals because the Bengals, they probably did the most to shore up their offensive line out of any team in the NFL. Now, granted, they needed to. Old Joe
Yeah,
Burrow just, he survived is the best way to put it, and he threw the Bengals on his back and almost got it done. I mean, if Aaron Donald doesn't sack him to end the Super Bowl, I mean, you never know. Burrow may have pulled it off.
I don't know if we would have made that if we wouldn't have choked in the fourth quarter. I feel like things could have been different in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, yeah. And who did we beat to get to the playoffs? This Chargers
Oof.
team.
Yeah. This Chargers team, they're going to be a lot harder this year.
It was all their
Uh,
fault too. Who draft?
called
By
the
the way,
timeouts
who drafts a fullback? I mean,
in the seventh round.
I
That's
mean,
not
I
that
get
bad.
it. It's the seventh round, but come on, who drafts a fullback? Like, I get it that the Chargers, Lorenzo Neal back in the day. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if what how they actually use the fullback. I mean, you drafted a fullback. I don't know what you
I
think the
mean,
Chargers
I'm
did,
not
but
gonna I'm not gonna give the Chargers too much gripe. I mean, we were the ones who took Sebastian Janikowski in the first round. So, although he did play forever.
you're damn right. Seabass, do it again. Do it again.
Yep.
Or at least he's not in jail.
True.
Is that
True.
too soon? That might be too
No,
soon.
we have too many first rounders in jail. Still in
Oh
Vegas.
God, goodness.
We're getting off topic.
We are. Sorry. Chargers. Chargers.
Chargers. All right, their offense is stacked. We already know that. I don't think anybody's going to come over here and be shocked that they're going to be putting up numbers this year. But let's talk about their defense and where they've improved in the defense. And I guess we can start with the X-Raider in the room in Khalil Mack. Uh, I can't believe it. How do you feel about it?
Well, it was one of those things where the Raiders did everything they could when they realized that they needed to trade him to get him out of the division, out of the AFC, and hey, Chicago Bears, screw you. We owe you one. At some point, we're going to pay you back because now we get Khalil Mack twice a year, and depending on how this plays out, it might even be a third time. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's going to be and teaming him up with Joey Bosa. I mean, this is just going to be crazy.
it is going to be one of the worst duos that we will face all year long. All right, so we know about Bosa and Mack is going to be beating us up all day. They've managed to bring in some unrestricted free agents and the nose tackle and defensive tackle Austin Johnson and Sebastian Day. What do you think putting run stuffers in between those two are going to do for them?
Well, I mean, lucky for them, The AFC West, it's not, you know, they're really more reliant upon their quarterback play. Denver, obviously, with Javonte Williams, is going to be trying to run. Us with Josh Jacobs, we're going to be trying to run. But I mean, for the most part, it's not the Tennessee Titans that they need to stop, or the Baltimore Ravens. So really, as long as they can plug and play, and then they also spent some draft capital on some interior D linemen too. So I'm sure they're just looking for versatility and trying to getting that experience too from Joseph Day after just winning a Super Bowl. So trying to bring in that new mentality to get the Chargers over the hump and back into the playoffs.
Yeah, one of the inside linebackers that I really like a lot is Kenneth Murray Jr. That's one of the linebackers that I wish that the Raiders would have drafted uh, back in, I don't even remember, was it 3 or 4 years ago? I feel like is what it
Yep.
was.
Yeah.
And I just remember when the Chargers got him, just me being upset. It was one of those years where I think we had like 3 draft picks and we couldn't get it right. So I think they're going to be stacked. I don't see any issues. The Chargers really didn't have any problems with their linebacking core last year, and when adding Mack and that 3-4 defense is going to be ridiculous. Where they were hurting last year was their cornerback play, and I think that's what exposed them a lot. And it seems like they kind of shored that up a little bit with their big free agent splash is J.C. Jackson, the big corner out of New England. How do you think that's going to change up our division, how they're going to guard?
It's always interesting to see when a big name, a big priced cornerback goes from one scheme to another team. It it doesn't always pan out. They paid a huge price tag for J.C. Jackson. He did great things in New England. Some considered him to be the top corner in the league by the time he was done in New England. He was definitely the free agent catch for this year. But again, it's all about scheme and how he fits in. They do have obviously Derwin James, one of the elite safeties in the NFL.
I
Uh, you know,
agree.
watching his back, and then of course Asante Samuel Jr. on the other side. So I mean, I guess the best way to put it is they have the star power. Now it's just a question of, are these the guys that are going to be able to stop Devonte Adams and Hunter Renfro, or are these the guys that are going to be able to stop, Juju Smith-Schuster and Travis Kelsey, and then of course the young studs in Denver. So we'll have to see if they're going to be up to the test.
The Chargers get a lot of gripe just as much as the Rangers do for, not being very good and just being long stretches of mediocrity. But their draft classes in the last like 3 or 4 years has just been outstanding. Like Bosa, Derwin James, Nasir Adderley in the second, Asante Samuel in the second. Like they've just, I feel like, done a really good job of scouting and drafting because this team has really been built through the draft, not necessarily. I think J.C. Jackson might be the biggest free agent that they've signed, and then the Khalil Mack trade itself, where they've given up a little bit of capital to get an edge rusher. But everything else has been, you know, strictly in house.
It's crazy. I've never understood why the Chargers were not a free agent destination. I mean, before when they were in San Diego, like who would not want to live in San Diego? I mean, now I get it, LA, but I mean, that's a beautiful stadium. Me personally, I wouldn't want to live in LA, being from California, but, hey, you pay me millions of dollars to be there. Of course, I'm gonna find a beautiful place to call home. But yeah, I mean, they're starting to. I think Justin Herbert. You need that stud, and then everybody else starts to make their way there.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time before they sign a stud wide receiver. All right, everybody. Thanks for today. Remember to hit that like and subscribe. Drop any comments you guys have, any ideas. We're always looking for fresh takes. Again, this is the place to be for your AFC West insight and knowledge. Again, fantasy advice, whatever you're looking for, we have you.